Hello students, today I Moshim ma'am will take another class of human reproduction, and today we will focus mainly on the fertilization. So students, to study fertilization, we know that fertilization is a very vital event in the human reproduction. It is the fusion of the male and female gametes and to produce a zygote, that insignificant cell called zygote, and which actually is the cell which will form the offspring. And it occurs, where it occurs? Fertilization occurs in the ampullar isthmic junction of the fallopian tube or oviduct of the female. So in human being, fertilization occurs in the ampullar isthmic junction. We know that ampulla is that swell region of the fallopian tube, and then comes the isthmus. So that is junction of this ampullar isthmic junction is the region where the fertilization takes place in human being. Now, for our convenience of our study, we have divided the whole fertilization into various subphases. First of all, it is the arrival of the ovum, because ovum, we know it is produced in the ovary, so it has to come at the site of fertilization, that is the arrival of the ovum. Next is the insemination, that is sperm, the semen is to be released in the female reproductive tract, that is called insemination. Next to it is the motility and capacitation of the sperm, that is how it is motile and how it gets activated. And then is the fertilization or fusion of gametes, and this fusion of gametes also occurs in various subphases like acrosomal reaction, then entry of the sperm, then cortical reaction, then zona reaction, then activation of the ovum, and finally the karyogamy. So fusion occurs in several subphases, that is the acrosomal reaction, the entry of acrosomal reaction, entry of the sperm, then cortical reaction, zona reaction, then activation of the ovum, and finally karyogamy. So now first of all, we will study the arrival of the ovum. Now we know where ovum is produced. Ovum, this is the ovum, it is produced in the ovary. And where fertilization occurs? It occurs in the ampullar isthmic junction of the fallopian tube. So it has to move to the ampullar isthmic junction of the fallopian tube. Now, when it occurs, we know that on the 14th day of menstruation, when there is high level of LH, and also there is comparatively higher level of FSH and estrogen, and this due to this LH surge, this mature Graafian follicle ruptures and it releases the secondary oocyte or ovum. And this secondary oocyte or ovum is now drawn towards the fallopian tube by the fimbriae, that is the finger-like projection which is present in the infundibulum, that is funnel-like part of the fallopian tube. So now this secondary oocyte is drawn into the fallopian tube by the help of fimbriae, and this secondary oocyte now enters within the fallopian tube through a pore called ostia. Through ostium it enters in the fallopian tube, and then it moves into the fallopian tube. Where it will move? It will move into the ampullar isthmic junction by the ciliary beating of the cells of the wall of the fallopian tube. So there it waits for about 48 hours for the fertilization. Next, next subphase is the insemination. That is, we know that the semen, in human being, the male gamete is motile, the sperm is motile, and sperm has to be transferred into the female reproductive tract, and that is the insemination. So in the semen contains the sperm and seminal plasma, and it is released in the female reproductive tract, and we know that 3 to 4 ml of semen is ejaculated in one ejaculation, and it contains about numerous sperms, about 300 to 300 million sperms. And next is the motility. Now, when the semen is released in the vagina, next is the motility. The sperms, first of all, the sperms moves in the female reproductive tract at about speed of 1.5 to 2 millimeter per minute, and these sperms are guided in the female reproductive tract by the mucus string produced by the cervix during this phase. So mucus string guides the sperms, and we have already learned, I think you remember, it is the prostaglandins which are present, which are the secretion of the seminal vesicle, which are present in the semen. They helps in movement of the sperm. That is, we know that prostaglandins helps in reverse peristalsis. That means upward movement of the sperm in the female reproductive tract is done by the prostaglandins. And there is also oxytocin which is released from the female. That also helps in movement of the, which is released from the female, also helps in movement of the sperm. And there is another word you have done, that capacitation. Capacitation means activation of the sperm. When the sperm is released, it is not active. That means it is not in a condition to fertilize. Now, how it is activated? First of all, the inhibitory factors which are present associated with the sperm, they are first of all destroyed or dissolved. Then there is the cholesterol vesicles which are present at the top of this acrosome. Cholesterol vesicles are present at the top of the acrosome. These are also washed out, and as a result, the acrosomal the membrane becomes weakens, and there is intrusion of calcium wave, and which causes the whiplash movement of the tail, and thus the sperm now is activated and moves into the female reproductive tract. Now, next is the fusion of the gametes. Now, fusion of the gametes, now already sperm has reached to the ampullar isthmic junction. The ovum is already there in the ampullar isthmic junction. So, next will be the fusion of gametes. Now, in fusion of gametes, we will discuss fusion of gametes in certain subphases, like the number one is the acrosomal reaction. We know that acrosome contains lots of hydrolytic enzymes. So acrosome contains lots of hydrolytic enzymes. Can you remember the names? Number one is hyaluronidase. So number one is hyaluronidase. What is the function of hyaluronidase? Hyaluronidase actually, now you can see these radiating cells, corona radiata, they are attached to each other by some adhesive substances, adhesive-like substances called hyaluronic acid. And this hyaluronidase is there to dissolve this hyaluronic acid so that the cells become free enough. Next, another enzyme is there, corona penetrating enzyme, which actually destroys or destroys the corona radiata cells. So first of all, hyaluronidase, which dissolves the adhesive material present between the corona radiata cells, that is the hyaluronic acid. Next is the corona penetrating enzyme, which ultimately dissolves the corona radiata cells. And finally is the zona lysine or acrosine, which actually dissolves the zona pellucida. So these three enzymes together is called sperm lysine. So now the sperm lysine acts and destroys the coverings of the egg. And there is zona pellucida. We know that zona pellucida also contains another factor, that is the fertilizing factor. The fertilizing factor is there in the membrane of the egg, and anti-fertilizing factor is there in the sperm. So there is also a reaction of fertilizing and anti-fertilizing factors, which is known as compatible reaction, which occurs on the, we know this, you can see here this cone. After this acrosome has lysed the wall, a fertilization cone has been formed by the membrane, and there the fertilizing factor and the anti-fertilizing factor of the sperm reacts, and this is called compatible reaction. Now next is the entry of the sperm. So after there is compatible reaction, that is in the fertilization cone, this fertilizing factor of the egg membrane and the sperm reacts, and if it is compatible, if it is decided to be compatible, next is the sperm, their membrane will dissolve. You can see the membrane will dissolve, and the sperm nucleus, and along with the sperm nucleus, along with the neck and the middle piece, will enter in the ovum. So this is the entry of the sperm. Sperm nucleus along with the neck and the middle piece enters in the ovum, but the tail remains outside. The tail does not enter. The tail remains outside. So this is the entry of the sperm. There is another reaction now, that is the cortical reaction. The sperm also creates the entry of the sperm, and there is a wave of, as the entry of the sperm, there is a wave of calcium, and this calcium causes extrusion of these cortical granules. You can see these cortical granules. The calcium, release of calcium causes extrusion, wave of calcium causes extrusion of these cortical granules outside, and these cortical reaction, this is called cortical reaction, which prevents the other sperm to enter. And there is another reaction called zona reaction. We know that zona pellucida contains the receptor to receive the sperm. So this zona reaction, in this zona reaction, the receptors, the sperm receptors of the zona pellucida are destroyed, and now the sperm receptors are destroyed. Now in no other sperm is allowed to enter or allowed to attach with the ovum, and as a result cortical reactions also makes the membrane of the ovum actually doesn't allows the prevent the enter of any of the sperm from this ovum. And now so it in human being we know that it is monospermy. So this phase, this process by which the only one sperm can enter in the ovum, and this is called monospermy. So monospermy is induced in the human fertilization reaction. And now next to this reaction, now this is the after the entry of the sperm. Now we all know that nucleus of the sperm ovum, nucleus of the ovum, at which stage it is now? It is arrested in metaphase 2 of meiosis II. When secondary, after the formation of secondary oocyte, it has started meiosis II, but it has been arrested after completing prophase 2. It has been arrested in the metaphase 2. So after the entry of the sperm, this nucleus will now undergo metaphase 2. The metaphase promoting complexes now will be degenerated, and the anaphase promoting complexes will be induced, and then the metaphase, it will complete the meiosis II, and finally it will form the one polar body that is second polar body, and the female pronucleus. Will form the second polar body and the female pronucleus. So you can see here, now these two, this male and female nuclei will come closer. The membrane covering them will dissolve, and now there will be mixing of the chromosome material. So membrane between them will dissolve, and there will be mixing of the chromosome material, which will form a single cell fusion. The fusion of the gametes will occur, and that will form a single cell called zygote. So let us have a quick recap. So fertilization, it occurs in the ampullorismic junction. Now during fertilization, it is a long process, and for our convenience we have divided into several steps. Now at first there is the arrival of the ovum to the ampullorismic junction at the 14th day of the menstrual cycle, which rests there for 48 hours for the arrival of the sperm. Next is the insemination, that is semen is transferred into female reproductive tract, and which contains several factors which help the sperm to move in the female reproductive tract. And then is the entry, the motility of the sperm. We know that motility of the sperms are motile, and this motility of the sperm is mainly meant by prostaglandins and the oxytocin. Another one is important thing is the capacitation of the sperm, because as the sperms are produced, they are not activated, they are not active to fertilize. So they are to be activated to fertilize, and that is called capacitation of the sperm. So there are different inhibitory factors which are present on the sperm, which are now destroyed. Now there are some cholesterol vesicles over the acrosome, which are now dissolved, washed away, and now the acrosome membrane becomes weak, so that it can release the enzymes, hydrolytic enzymes, and there are several and now it is ready, and this calcium wave also helps in movement of the tail, so it is ready for fertilization. And next is the fertilization. First of all, the acrosome reaction is there. Hyaluronic base dissolve the hyaluronic acid present between the corona radiata cells. Corona penetrating enzyme dissolves the corona radiata cells. Zona lysine dissolves the zona pellucida, and finally there is a fertilization, so sperm, so ultimately dissolving all the membranes outside. There is a fertilization cone is formed by the egg membrane, and the sperm now gets attached with the fertilization cone, and finally this fertilization cone also dissolves, and particularly in this region the membrane of the sperm and the egg dissolves, and the content of the sperm enters within the ovum. That is the entry of the sperm nucleus along with the middle piece and neck. And then there are cortical reactions. We know that cortical granules, wave of calcium extrudes as cortical granules outside, and thus prevents the other sperm to enter. And in the zona pellucida also, there the receptors of the sperms are destroyed, and so no other sperm can enter, so there's monospermy is there. And finally the nucleus undergoes completes the meiosis II, and forms one polar body and the male female pronucleus. The nuclear membrane of the sperm nucleus as well as the ovum nucleus of the ovum dissolves, and the chromatin material mixes up, and thus the fertilization is completed and new cell zygote is formed. So today till this, go through it thoroughly. Okay, thank you.